Good morning everyone. Today is Saturday and I'm heading out for my first appointment in a very long time. So I'm going for laser this morning, and for pretty much most of lockdown I have been at home other than doing groceries and chiropractic appointments. I've been at home, so I'm kind of nervous, but at the same time I'm looking so forward to my laser appointment. I can't even begin to describe. I'm sure we're all in the same boat. As you know, I've been doing my own nails, so I haven't needed to leave the house for that, which I'm thrilled about. Anyway, I'm really excited about this and I will catch up with you in a bit. All done, and they were fantastic. Sanitizing everything, sanitizing the glasses that you wear to have the laser. They were just brilliant. Even sanitizing, you had to step in sanitizer as you insert in, so you've got to do your hands, but you've got to do your shoes as well, which is also so important, I guess, and I haven't seen that anywhere else. Not that I've been very many places, clearly, but yeah, very happy with the whole experience. So like, I feel rest assured, thank goodness. And now I'm gonna head home, and I've got a couple of really good books that I need to share with you and a new book delivery. So let's do that when I get home. So just while I'm driving home, can we take a moment to talk about Taylor Swift? Because she dropped this surprise album, Folklore, yesterday I believe, and I've just had it on repeat ever since then. I'm completely obsessed. So any Taylor Swift fans, let me know in the comment section below what you think, because I mean, I loved her last album, which was this time last year, wasn't it? It was August last year, I think. And then this one, oh my gosh, I think it's my favorite one. I really think it's my favorite one, and I loved her early stuff, and then I didn't really like the, you know, like the Serpent era at all, but I love this new like country vibe, like, I don't know, like very indie. It just gives me all the feels and I absolutely love it. I'm home again and I have curled my hair, as you may have noticed. I didn't get an opportunity to do that before I left for my laser appointment this morning, because Ryan had made us the most delicious blueberry pancakes, which he always makes us every weekend, and it's such a treat. So I have just done that now. I thought I would take you through a box of Take a Lot things that have arrived this week, which I'm quite excited about. I have thrown in here some cosmetics that I purchased from Superbalist, but it's basically the same company, so I thought I would just talk about that here as well. It's going to come as no surprise because these are repurchases of repurchases of repurchases. But anyway, the last vlog I mentioned that I really needed a new foundation because I completely finished mine, so I restocked on my L'Oreal Infallible. This one looks slightly different to the previous one that I had. They've obviously done a rejig of I don't know how they print the tube. And then I usually use vanilla, and it's number 11, but this one is 110 vanilla rose, so it kind of looks a little bit lighter than the other one if I hold them together, but I don't know if it's because the old one is now oxidized and perhaps it's a little bit darker than it was. But I have just given it a little swatch and I'm quite happy with that. And then I have finally, you guys are probably going to be so relieved that I've repurchased my Elizabeth Arden liquid liner, and I rave about this all the time. I promise you there is no other liquid liner, felt tip liquid liner, that is more deserving of your money than this one. I've had such an issue trying out tons of them, and they dry out within, I don't know, about 3 weeks of having started using them, which is just not good enough for me because I wear it every time I do my makeup, and this one has got such longevity. The felt tip doesn't dry out, or it's only just dried out, and I've had that one since last year. And considering we are now pretty much almost on the cusp of August, I would say that's good going, and that's well worth your money, and it's not that expensive either. I can't remember how much it is, but somewhere around the 300 Rand mark. It's just under, I think, and well worth your money because you can actually get great use out of it. And then the last repurchase for beauty products that I've got this week is my tried and trusted mascara. This is the Maybelline Great Lash Mascara in Blackest Black. I have tried many mascaras in my lifetime, and nothing compares to this one. So I have repurchased it. Who knows how many times I've repurchased this thing. So all of these products, well, all three of them, not that there's that much, these are kind of like absolute staples in my makeup collection, and I strongly believe that you need them too. So if you haven't tried them, none of them are particularly expensive, and the foundation I always get complimented on. Even makeup artists always mistake it for Estee Lauder's double wear foundation, and it's a fraction of the price. So honestly, if you are interested in either three of those, I would highly recommend these three because they are simply the best on the markets, and I've tried a lot of products. The next couple of items that I have got to show you have got to do a little bit with what I mentioned in my previous vlog, which was a reading challenge that I've decided to do. It's a Harry Potter themed reading challenge, but if you are not a Harry Potter reader, it doesn't matter at all because the books that you read for the challenge have got nothing to do with Harry Potter. It's just a structure to the setup, because in Harry Potter they write 2 sets of exams, kind of like O-levels and A-levels. But they are called owls and newts, and I've only just stumbled across the host of these reading challenges last month. Well, no, this month, the month of July, and it's almost a pity that I've only stumbled across it now because the owls are set to take place in April, so obviously I've missed out, but I've been doing it in July nonetheless. And unfortunately, as I mentioned in my previous video, the newts this year for topics that are like quite unfortunate because of J.K. Rowling, they won't be hosted on YouTube this August. Back to the reading challenge. Basically what you need to do is similar to what you would have done at school level when it comes time to picking your subjects towards the career that you have in mind of completing once you've finished school. So you need to pick a career, and then the career dictates which subjects that you need to take, and then within the subjects there are reading prompts. So in the owls exams, I needed to take, for my reading career, which was an astronomer, I needed to take history of magic, and I needed to take arithmancy and astronomy. But now the books that go along with those subject choices have got nothing to do with those subjects. So you'll come across another kind of reading prompt similarly to stars on the cover, and the prompt for that book, if you read a book with that prompt, it will give you a credit towards the subject. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, because that's kind of how it's structured. So anyway, for the second set of the reading challenge, you kind of up the ante, and you've got to push yourself a little bit harder because it's supposed to be like a more difficult level of exam. There is no exam that takes place, it's just a reading challenge. So for the news exams this year, I needed to do 1 book for history of magic, 3 books for arithmancy, and 3 books for astronomy. So that's a lot of reading in 1 month for me. I don't think I've ever finished that many books in a month ever, because I'm a pretty slow reader. I love to read, but I'm a pretty slow reader. So anyway, I hopped onto Takealot, and I was doing a price comparison because I normally read on my Kindle. I actually love to read on my Kindle, so I've got that here. But when I price things out on Amazon versus Exclusive Books versus Takealot. I was so surprised that Takealot actually offers such you know, competitive prices on their books. So I ordered a bunch of them from Takealot and they arrived in this package, which I'm so excited to share with you. So the first one that I've got on my list here is the Traveling Cat Chronicles, which piqued my curiosity because cats are just my favorite animals on the whole planet. Always have been, and I just adore them. And this is actually originally written in Japanese, and it's set in Japan, and it's basically a story about life through the eyes of a cat. And I thought that was so intriguing. So this book looks beautiful. It's a hardcover, which I don't think I had been anticipating. The inside of this book is absolutely gorgeous. It's like a marbling, and I see there are some illustrations, you know, as you begin a chapter, which are very pretty. It almost looks like it must have been a watercolor, but it looks beautiful. So I'm very, very excited to read through that, and I think it'll just be a story about life, which to me, I always love life stories. So very, very excited about that. And that is for arithmancy. The next book that I picked up, which is one that's been sitting on my to be read list for so long, it's Night Circus. You may have heard me speak about The Starless Sea, which was also written by Erin Morgenstern, the same author that's written this, and this one she wrote first and then came Starless Sea. They're not sequels, but from what I've seen from the reviews, the people that had already read Night Circus were quite disappointed with Starless Sea, whereas because I started with Starless Sea and I was blown away by it, I thought it was fantastic. I thought it can only get better, so I'm really excited to try out the Night Circus. I don't know too much about it. The blurb doesn't say too much either. I was a bit worried that it was going to be too similar to a book that I read last year called Queen of the Nights, which also had to do with a circus back in time in France, and that book was also sensational. So because that one was so good and it had the aspect of a circus in it, I was trying to space them out so I didn't read them too closely together. But it's about a year later now, so I think I'm ready for it. And I'm delighted to read this book because The Starless Sea to me was just beautiful. It was written in such a beautiful manner. The words that were used, the sentence structures, oh my gosh, it was just everything to me. So I'm very, very excited to read Night Circus. The next book that I have also picked up is one that I've been very much looking forward to, and this is a historical fiction. This is called A Gentleman in Moscow by Amor Towles. I hope that's how you say it. This is something that has caught my eye for quite some time, and I knew that I would get to it at some point, and that time is now. So I'll just read you a bit of the blurb on the background. If you're a historical fiction fanatic like I am, this is probably right up your alley. I loved history at school. We did a lot of Russian history, and that's kind of linked here. Well, it is linked. So the blurb reads, on the 21st of June 1922, Count Alexander Rostov, recipient of the Order of St. Andrew, member of the Jockey Club, master of the hunt, is escorted out of the Kremlin, across the Red Square, and through the elegant revolving doors of the Hotel Metropole. Deemed an unrepentant aristocrat by a Bolshevik tribunal, the Count has been sentenced to house arrest indefinitely. But instead of his usual suite, he must now live in an attic room while Russia undergoes decades of tumultuous upheaval. Can a life without luxury be the richest of all? Which is, you know, quite a philosophical question, and I've heard great things. The reviews are amazing, so I'm really excited to get my a pause on this book and to get reading it. The next book that I ordered from Takealot, because it was 34 Rand, is not in this box because I ordered it as an ebook. So unfortunately it doesn't come on your Kindle if you order it through Takealot. obviously. So I had to pull up a tablet that we actually luckily had lying around the house, so it's on there, and that is George Orwell's 1984, and I can't believe I've lived to this point in my life not having read that book. It's always been on my reading list and I've just never picked it up. I did read Animal Farm, and that was such a political satire. It was very, very good. So my sister has always told me that 1984 is just as good. The only thing that I know about it is it's probably political satire, and I know that Big Brother stems from that book, so that's about all I know, but I'm excited to read it, and I'm very, very glad that I've picked it for this challenge. Then the next thing that I've got, which is actually the book prompt for the stars on the cover that I keep mentioning, and that is for let's have a look here. Oh, it's also for astronomy. Obviously it's got stars on the cover, and that is, oh, I'm so excited. This is Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. I absolutely love Alice in Wonderland. My 21st birthday theme was a Mad Hatter's tea. The invitation cards were the Queen of Hearts, you know, from the deck of cards, and I don't know, I just love how whimsical it is. And I've never actually read Lewis Carroll, so I picked this up and I actually started reading it yesterday, and it's quite interesting because I had never read it. Reading it's a little bit different to the Disney rendition that is very whimsical for sure, but there's storylines that I think Disney may have left out, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a beautiful illustrated version, which is lovely. I don't remember the last time I had an illustrated book, and the last one would have been The Magician's Nephew. There was illustrations in that, so I'm kind of going through a phase of reading children's literature, but I'm enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it, and this book is beautiful. It was given to me by my sister a few years back for Christmas. It's just beautiful. I mean, the pages are sprayed silver, and it's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And it's got Alice Through the Looking Glass here as well. So I'm excited to read that because I don't think I know much about that, which is unfortunate, and I'm going to change that. So that's it in terms of my most recent purchases and an update on my reading challenge. So I think I'm going to start with my Newt's reading list early. Well, I clearly have already because I've started reading Alice in Wonderland, and that's okay because I don't want to put myself under strain to read all these books in 1 month. So if I can start early, I'm going to, and I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm also going to start a bit of the Traveling Cat Chronicles because I just thought it's a quick read and it sounds kind of cute, so I'll give that a read as well. So those two I'm going to be starting with, and we'll see how it goes. Morning everyone, today is Sunday and it is such a beautiful day. It's honestly so sunny and it's warm. I know I've got my hoodie on, but outside it's beautiful. So I have just been quite lazy today, and I have been reading the Traveling Cat Chronicles, and it's been such a wonderful start to the day. But I feel like I need to move my body a bit now because I haven't done so much. So I think I'm gonna go and take Chloe on a walk. And then I was wondering whether we shouldn't just stop in the park and I should take my book with me and we can just relax out there in the sunshine for a little bit, which I think will be quite nice. So I think that's what we're gonna do. is clearly much later now since I last picked up my camera. I have been editing all afternoon, and that's a really good thing because that means that my blog post for tomorrow is about to go up, and it's all about my bridesmaids, and I can't wait to give them a little bit of airtime because they certainly deserve it. They're so beautiful inside and out. And I have also been editing this vlog, so I thought I would just pop on here and say thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed it. It's been a very kind of relaxed weekend, as most of them are at the moment, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. So please subscribe if you haven't already, because I would love to have you back for another video, and I will see you next week. Bye everyone.